Our first guest tonight is a Grammy-nominated musician, a Jonas brother, and a coach on this season of The Voice, which airs live episodes on Monday and Tuesday nights right here on NBC. Please welcome back to the show one of my favorite people to day drink with, Nick Jonas. How are you, Nick?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. I did hear you say you recently had a biking accident and you cracked a rib. How are you doing?
I'm good. When I sit upright like this, I'm totally fine. But yeah, it's been a weird couple days recovering from a rib injury because they basically tell you at the hospital, there's nothing we can do. And
Right.
so you just have to wait it out. But, it's all good.
Did you know when you hit the ground that something had cracked?
Yeah, well, we were shooting something for NBC, my brothers and I. And
Gotcha.
it was a competitive thing, but we all looked at each other beforehand because the race was actually, pretty intense. We said, just take it easy. Let's not overdo it. And so I was being responsible. I wasn't being overly competitive, but just something happened. It was one of those things where the steering wheel or whatever, the handlebars just kind of got out from under me and I just tumbled, man. And when I hit the ground, I actually felt like, oh no, I'm going to hurt one of my brothers because we're all like this close racing. But then when I got up, I was like, no, it's me. It's me.
Only on the upside, at least it happened while you're doing something for NBC and you get that workers' comp.
Exactly, but I have the other show for NBC, The Voice. But I get to sit in a chair for that the whole time too, so that's fine.
That's true. Hey, before we move on, I mean, you were one of the last people I had a civilized drink with when we went day drinking with our brothers and our friend Jack McBrayer. We drank your tequila.
Way too much fun.
That was a lot of fun. We had some Villa One then, and I'm going to pour some now, and I think you've got some there. How have you been drinking yours? Have you been drinking more or less during the past year?
Funny you should ask. I would say I've probably been drinking more because I've just been at home, not working as much. And being a founder and a fan of this tequila that we created, I think it's important just to do some market research of my own and just make sure it's good still, and in fact it is. So
well, cheers to you. I know from experience that it's a very good tequila.
Yes.
And I thank you very much for sending it. I myself have not seen my brother much this year because he's in LA and I obviously am in New York. You live right down the street from Joe. Have you managed to see him a fair amount?
I have, yeah. Priyanka and I have been spending a lot of time in the UK as well as the US because she's shooting over there. So coming back and forth this year, which has been nuts. But when I'm here in LA, Joe and Sophie are just 7 to 10 minutes away, depending on the LA traffic, and we see each other quite a lot, which is really nice. But when I'm in London, obviously a little harder to see each other.
Yes. You, I think this is very exciting, not just for you, but your fans. You and your brothers are going to perform again for the first time in a long time, obviously, at Summerfest in Milwaukee. I will tell you, I think it's just going to be a boom time for live performance. Is that your expectation, that it will be so exciting, not just to be performing in front of audiences again, but audiences that haven't been out for over a year?
Yeah, well, I think that obviously this last year and a half has been insane for everybody. And now that it feels like things, at least here in the US, are kind of getting back to normal, I think there's definitely an appetite for live shows. I know that I am craving, a live show, and I feel really lucky in that I get to sit in a chair and watch great vocalists sing every Monday and Tuesday right in front of me. But as far as getting back on stage, I know I can't wait. The brothers can't wait. And I'm hopeful that the fans and people feel ready to come out and celebrate, hopefully, the kind of turning point of this whole thing.
Do you think you have to do more rehearsal than usual? Do you feel as though you guys will be rusty, or do you think you'll pick it right back up again?
Well, I think Joe might.
Yeah, I thought so too.
He requires just a little bit extra rehearsal to remember lyrics. Even while we're on tour, he can't remember them. So a year and a half off, we'll see if he can stick it.
I asked because if you hadn't said that, we were going to recommend maybe getting Joe in the rehearsal room a little bit more than the rest of you.
See, you know us too well at this point.
You're also hosting, and this is going to be in a theater with an audience, the Billboard Awards.
Yeah, so they've done something really cool. That the set is, basically kind of an indoor-outdoor situation with people that have been vaccinated, and it's going to be a celebration of a strange but great year in music. And the fact that they asked me to host is such an honor. And I just can't wait to get out there and again, listen to some live music. It's been so long. And the fact that there's going to be real fans there will be really special.
So I want to ask about The Voice. As we mentioned, I guess we'll be down, when this airs, we'll be down to 9 contestants. And how have you felt so far about the season?
Actually, I think at this point, we've just locked in our finalists.
All right.
So, who knows what could happen? It's up to America to decide now who wins this thing. And that's kind of the brilliant part about this show is, the coaches, we get it. We make the decisions up until the live shows, which started a couple weeks ago. And then America decides. And we're often surprised by who, they feel they want to bring to the finale and who they don't, which is also very surprising. Because we have our favorites, of course, but it's up to them. And so I'm blown away by the talent this year, and just the fact that 20 seasons into the show, they're still finding people who are so brilliant is pretty impressive.
So last year, were you surprised that you finished second to Blake Shelton? Because I asked him, and he said he wasn't surprised at all that he won.
Yeah, well, he's a liar.
Yeah.
Okay, just let's put that on the table first of all. He was shocked he won.
But such a charming liar, don't you think? As liars go.
Liar. I was so mad. We were shooting the live shows last year in quarantine, so we were all at home. So I didn't really get to address him head on and tell him how frustrated I was. But he certainly lit up the text thread with all of us just gloating. So this year we can't let that happen again. He's got some very talented people on his team. But this would be his 8th win if he wins, which is insane. I mean, he's been there from the beginning. So I don't know, the numbers game. It's it is what it is. But he's kind of poised to be in a good spot with this one too. He's got some great people.
He's the Tom Brady of voice coaches.
People keep saying that, and his head just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I think we need to.
And that's hard because he just physically already has a pretty large head.
He does.
Yeah.
He's a large human being.
Hey, I was wondering because, I think one of the things that draws a lot of people to The Voice is the very fun, lighthearted trash talking you guys use amongst yourselves. Do you ever have to tone it down when you get around people that are non-voice coaches?
Oh, absolutely. I will come back from, we shoot the blind auditions, things like that for, about 8 to 12 hours, depending. And so I come home for dinner and I've got, Priyanka, a couple friends over, and I'm still in that zone. So I'm talking trash at the table, and everyone's like, Nick, chill, bro. But it's a real thing. It's you got to leave the voice on the set and come home and be a nice, host.
When you come to the dinner table, do you insist that your chair starts with its back to everybody? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you turn around based on
something
smells.
Interesting. And if they say something interesting enough, then I turn my chair around.
It's conversation-based. That makes sense. You had a mega mentor, Snoop Dogg, and I want to ask, how was your time spent with him?
He's brilliant. He's obviously a legend. And he is, I think, best known for his rapping, obviously, but his, production, his awareness of just musicality. He's like a record player. He knows every single song ever recorded, it seems. And he smells great.
He does. Yeah, he does have a very unique
smell.
A very upbeat odor.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's just,
you just kind of feel, I don't know if it's crazy to say this, you can kind of tell when he's in the room.
Yes, totally. And I think the whole crew, myself, we're all very happy.
Did he have any of your tequila? Is that something when you have guests around, do you say, hey, I've got this Villa One thing. I'd love for you guys to have a taste.
No, I sent him some after.
Gotcha.
But I have, I've brought the Villa One to set for the other coaches. And I think John has a winery and Blake has a vodka. So Kelly's the only one that has to launch her own something. And then we've got basically a whole bar back covered with just the coaches.
Well, that is, I think when we're talking about music and musicians, it's obviously very important, from what I've read historically, to have a well-stocked bar. So they've certainly picked the right people.
Yeah, they certainly have.
I'm surprised, does Blake really have a vodka?
That's I don't know. I can't remember the name of it right now, but yes, he does.
Wow.
And he likes it. He likes to enjoy his vodka.
Blake does seem to like Blake's stuff. That's
Yeah, he does. His thing though.
Does he make it in like a bathtub? What is his vodka like?
Don't make me laugh. It hurts
Oh, right.
a lot.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and do get well soon.
Thank you. Great to talk to you. All the best.